Hello guys, welcome to my meal prep video. I've had a few people requesting this video and so I thought, let me make it for you guys. So, meal prep is honestly like one of those little things in my life that I can control and I feel like it adds so much to my life. Whenever I meal prep, I feel like I'm being like kind to my future self and doing something that future me will thank me for. Anyway, let's get into the meals. The first meal that we've got is like a vegetarian bean chili situation with like a tomato salsa on the side and some avocado, and I eat this with corn chips. I used dried kidney beans and dried black beans, which I just soaked overnight, and then I made this in an instant pot. But you could also make this in a regular pot, just like on the stove, and you could also use tinned beans if you wanted. But I just sauteed up my onions, gathered my spices together. These are the spice mixes that I was using, plus just some cumin. I just added those to the onions, added a little bit of extra oil, sauteed those down, made sure the onions were really nice and coated in the spices. And then I got my Instant Pot, added my dried beans, added in the onion mix that we just made with the spices, added the chopped tomato, and then I also added some tin tomato. I use whole peeled tomatoes rather than the diced tin tomatoes because I heard somewhere that they used better tomatoes in the whole tomatoes than they do in the diced tomatoes. Is this a myth or is this true? I don't know, but that's what I heard and I stuck with it. Added some chicken stock and then put my Instant Pot on. I put it on the slow cook setting for like 40 minutes, I think. I do love an Instant Pot because you can just put it on and forget about it, which is amazing. And then I made a little salsa on the side. I just had some diced onions, some diced tomato, some coriander, and a little bit of garlic. I added these all to a bowl and just mixed them up. And then at the back of the fridge, I found this corn chip salsa dip, which had been there for a while, and I was like, I need to use this up. So I added it to the salsa, added some hot sauce as well, mixed that all up, and then added it to my little containers for the week. I forgot to film me putting the bean mix into the containers, but I also added a little bit of cheese on top so that when I reheated it at work, the cheese sort of melted into the beans and made this delicious, like melted, yummy goodness. Look at that, it looks so good. And then I've got my little salad on the side. I also added some avocado and some coriander as well. And then I just like to plate everything up into my little bowl, add the avocado, add the coriander. This would have been nice with some sour cream or something as well on the top. And then I used the little corn chips like a little taco. So much fun. Add a little bit of this, a little bit of that. You could also have like a tortilla. You could have this with rice. It's up to you. You could have it just as it is. But the corn chips were really fun. The next meal we are prepping is a Greek salad with some butter beans and also some chicken. I love having a salad for meal prep on like a hot week. Like during summer when it's hot, I don't want to eat hot food. Like I want to be cooled down, relaxed, eating something cool, and a salad is just perfect for that. Let's make the marinade for the chickens. I have this Greek spice mix, which I think has just like paprika, cumin, oregano, and I just added that with some extra paprika, some garlic, some sea salt, some pepper, some olive oil, and then I just mixed it up and added it onto my chicken. And then I just sprinkled some extra oregano on top of the marinade and just mix. Also, I love salads because they are so much faster and easier to prep than a cooked hot meal because you just kind of chop the ingredients and put it in a container. I just put lettuce, cucumber, tomato, red onion, feta cheese, and some olives, a lovely Greek salad. And then because I like to make my life extra hard and extra difficult, I decided to fry up some butter beans. I was just going to put them in raw, but I was like, you know what, let's make this a little bit extra. So I just heated up some garlic, sauteed some garlic, added in the butter beans. These are just tin butter beans. I think this is about 2 tins that I used across 4 or 5 meals. Added some paprika, some more of that Greek spice mix, and some sea salt. And I just mixed it around to make sure the spices coat all of the butter beans. Added some lemon because everything tastes better with lemon. And then let's not forget about the dressing. The dressing is the most important part of the salad. So in this dressing, I've got lemon juice, balsamic vinegar, some olive oil, of course, and some Dijon mustard. I love Dijon mustard in a salad dressing. It just makes it so creamy and just yum. And then some apple cider vinegar for some more acidity, some oregano because why not? And then I just close up my jar and then shake it up. I love making salad dressings in a jar because it's so easy to shake up and mix up and like mess free. And then I just have these little containers, which I think are from like a takeaway shop, from like Thai takeaway or something. And they've just come in such handy. And then plating up, my favorite part, butter beans for everyone, butter beans for every day of the week. And then dressing for every day of the week as well. In we go. perfect. And now I've just got to find space in the fridge. Okay, it is time to eat. This is honestly such an exciting part of my day when I get to sit down and open my little container, put my little sauce on my little salad and just enjoy. It's so much fun. I honestly love it. I'm so indecisive, and I decided that it was enough and I didn't need the chicken and I would just have the butter beans. And then the next morning I was like, why did I do that? Why did I make that decision? So I ended up cooking the chicken the next day, which I guess just gave it more time to marinate. It was a blessing in disguise. But yes, this was such a good meal. I would highly recommend for like a summer meal. Like, it's just so refreshing. Half the world's about to come into spring, so this is a great spring lunch. Next, we are making a Korean-inspired chicken rice bowl with a little salad on the side, of course. So let's marinate the chicken. I've got oyster sauce, some grated ginger, some garlic, some soy sauce, and some mirin, some gochujang, which is like a red Korean chili paste. I don't know if I pronounced that right, but we move. Some sugar, a little bit of rice wine vinegar for some acidity. You could also add lemon if you wanted, and then mix it all up. I use chicken thigh for this because I just feel like chicken thigh when I'm like stir frying is more juicy than a chicken breast. And then I just mixed it all up, let it sit for like half an hour to marinate, like an hour maybe. I was kind of pressed for time, so I only left it for half an hour. But let's move on to the salad. I've got lettuce, spring onions, and cucumber for this salad. And then I've also got some kimchi, which I just chopped up into like shreds and added to the salad. Mixed it all up, and then I added some black sesame seeds on top, just because why not? They were there, and I was like, this is gonna make this feel more fancy. It's not really gonna add to the taste, but it's gonna make me feel good, so I added them. And then every salad needs a dressing, let's be real. So I've got sesame oil, and I also added some soy sauce, some apple cider vinegar, a teaspoon of sugar, some fish sauce, and that is it. Just shake it all up and then you'll be ready to go. And these containers were very much overflowing, but we made it work. I got them all in. Now we got to stir fry the chicken. So I just used a wok and added the chicken, stir fried it. There's really not much more I can say. That's how I cooked it. I cooked some rice off camera and then added my chicken. And then lunchtime came around just like that again. Here we are again eating lunch, the best part of my day. This was a very good meal. The salad was definitely very necessary. Again, it just made me feel like light and like not super like weighed down after eating just like chicken and rice. The salad just brings a bit of life, brings a bit of pizzazz to the day. But yeah, that was a good meal. I'd rate that one like a good maybe 7 out of 10. Like, it wasn't amazing, but it was good. And then the next meal, which is probably one of my favorites, was a teriyaki salmon bowl. Everything's a bowl because it's in a container, okay? It's like a teriyaki salmon bowl with soba, noodles, and broccolini, cucumber, edamame, like a little poke bowl sort of situation, but with teriyaki salmon and soba noodles. I don't know why that was so hard to explain. But here we are, prepping the salmon. I like to pat my salmon dry before I cook it so it's nice and crispy. Add some salt, some pepper, some corn flour. The corn flour just gives it like a nice crispy coating when you fry it. And this day in the kitchen, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna be a chef. So I decided to put 2 pans on the stove at once. In one pan, I'm gonna cook the noodles, and in the other pan, I'm gonna cook the salmon. In go the noodles. Here I am struggling to submerge them into the water. And then I decided to add some butter to the pan to cook the salmon because everything just tastes better cooked with a bit of butter. And then in goes the salmon. This is me being like, is it hot enough? Is it hot enough? It was hot enough. Added in the salmon skin side down to get it nice and crispy. I feel like the trick with cooking salmon and meat sometimes on the pan is like just let it sit. Here I am not letting it sit, not sticking to my words. But like, you don't need to check it every 5 seconds. Just like let it cook. And then when it was ready to flip, I flipped it over. This is kind of making me cringe watching me do this with tongs. I don't know, it feels very, it feels like I'm manhandling the salmon. Like, I could have done this in a much more delicate way, but here we are. And then my soba noodles, I also do this really chaotic thing in the kitchen where I taste my noodles and my pasta with my hands, my bare hands, and it's just boiling hot. And every time I do it, I'm like, why am I doing this? But I just never stop. Anyway, the noodles were ready. They were ready to come out the pan, and then I was like, let me cook the broccolini now as well whilst the salmon's cooking. In goes the chopped broccolini with some boiling hot water. I just let that cook for like, honestly, only like a minute or 2, like not long. I don't like soggy vegetables. And then I'm adding my teriyaki sauce, which I made off camera. I just looked up a recipe for the teriyaki sauce. I can't remember exactly, but there's so many online. It was just like soy sauce, ginger, I think, mirin, sake. I don't even think I used sake. I don't think I had sake, but the recipe wanted sake. Anyway, or you could just buy like a store-bought teriyaki sauce if you don't want to buy all these ingredients, which you might not use again. So that was delicious. And then the broccolini was ready. It was ready in like a minute or two. And I just put it in a bowl of cold water so that it doesn't cook any further and it like keeps its green color. Blanched it. I blanched it, that's what the word is. And then here we go, adding our things to the container. I've got my edamame beans. I've got some cucumber, which I chopped. Doesn't this look so vibrant and healthy? Like, yum. And then it's time for the salmon. You get a salmon, you get a salmon, you get a salmon. And then I was like, let me add some avocado because I feel like avocado would be really nice with this. What I didn't think about was that the avocado is going to be sitting there exposed to the elements in the fridge for a few days, and avocado gets brown after a few days. Anyway, I should have put lemon on top, but here I am making a dressing because everything is better with a dressing. When I added the teriyaki sauce to the salmon, I made sure I left a bit to make a dressing, and then I added to it some lemon juice, a little bit more mirin, a little bit more soy sauce, and a little bit of sesame oil. Mixed it up, decided it wasn't enough, had to add some water to thin it out. Tasting, of course, always taste, guys, because we're all different. Like, we all like different things. Maybe you want more salt, maybe you want more sugar, I don't know, only you know. And then adding my little sauces to my containers, my favorite part, because it means I'm finished and I get to close up my containers. And here we are again, it's lunchtime again. I'm on my rug, sitting down, having lunch. Who would have thought? So yeah, the avocado did go a bit brown, but it was okay. This was also like 3 days into my meals. Added my dressing on top, satisfying, just the best part. You know it's good when you do this nod. Whenever I eat and I do this nod, it means the food is good. The nod, This is what I'm saying, this is good. Anyway, guys, I hope that you enjoyed this video. I hope that you enjoyed these meal prep ideas. I hope you've gained a little bit of inspiration. Thank you for being here, and I will see you in the next video. Please subscribe to my channel. Bye-bye. Bye, guys.